by Mrs. Tilaka Danister. At a time when I was drifting rudderless, as it were, owing to the ill health of my teacher, a very kind and clever Vipassana teacher, a certain foreign bhikkhu I knew, offered to find me a skilled meditation master. I am deeply indebted to this bhikkhu, a Kalyani in the ultimate sense of the word, who understood my keenness and the necessity to continue with my practice and paved the ways with great metta to fulfill my wish. After inquiring from the teacher, there it would be convenient for him to instruct an upasika who could only contact him through correspondence. The teacher's compassion and his great desire to help anyone who treated Dhamma path was such that he had assented readily, instructing that I should write and let him know my experiences and progress in detail. After receiving the first letter of instruction, which was so kind and encouraging, I wished to go and see him. So it was on the 2nd of May 1981 that I went with my husband to the hermitage and met my revered teacher for the first time. Although I went with a little apprehension as to how it would be to be august presence of a great meditation master, who we put at ease by Lokuhamuduru, as we learned to call him with affection. I was surprised at the warmth of his reception and could not but wonder at his great compassion and wisdom. The very first thing I observed about him was his gentleness and lack of anger, and I thought to myself, he surely must be a saint. Through the years, we have come to associate with him closely. Apart from a questioning glance, never have we seen the Maha Thera angry or ruffled when things went amiss. He was always so calm and spoke so gently and softly. If he needed correction, he would instruct us gently and earnestly, without a tinge of firmness. Undoubtedly, to all his pupils, he was a beloved father figure, a teacher of great wisdom and knowledge held in great esteem, and a meditation master par excellence. He used to be deeply concerned about both the physical and mental well-being of his pupils. His innate humaneness towards all, be it man or beast, was always evident. He had a way with little children too. The Maha Thera possessed a lovely sense of humor and would often laugh good-heartedly at some comment made by us. Not only was he full of loving kindness and compassion, he had great mudita, the ability to rejoice in others' happiness too. He used to be tremendously happy when his pupils made good progress in bhavana. One could see it in his eyes, his face, in fact, in his whole demeanor, while encouraging them further on. Also, his great quality of upekkha towards everyone and everything was unique. He remained calm and tranquil in a world full of confusion and disaster. The great physical suffering he had to undergo due to ill health during the later years, the Maha Thera bore with a great calm and fortitude, accepting fearlessly and constantly reminding us amiably the reality of all sanskaras, their impermanence, their suffering, and their void, all the while teaching his pupils a unique lesson in upekkha. Everyone who came in contact with the teacher was charmed by his ease of manner. He was so humane with all these endearing qualities, but yet he was greatly respected and deeply revered by one and all for his saintliness that lifted him far above the mundane level. There was nothing the Maha Thera loved more than the solitude, the life in the forest. He commented about this to me several times. To him, seclusion was priceless. Even when he was brought to Colombo for medical checkups by his devoted benefactors, he was always looking forward to getting back to the hermitage. Despite his 91 years, the Maha Thera had a wonderful memory. He was a very keen observer and used to remember even the most trivial thing he had seen or heard. About 3 months before my teacher passed away, on a visit to him one evening, I happened to quote a gatha that I liked. He repeated it with me and related the whole story, asking me to refer to the particular sutta in which this stanza is found. After giving some advice, he would always say, "Read this sutta. You will find it in this book," and quote the source, section, etc. with great accuracy. I found the relationship between teacher and pupil, which was one of absolute confidence, very relaxed, a unique relationship devoid of restrictions, inhibitions, and reprimands, where the pupil could approach the teacher with any problem, mundane or otherwise, confident of the compassionate hearing and a ready solution. He had a penetrative mind and understood the capabilities of his pupils. He would advise taking up a particular kammatthana which would prove beneficial, and what really amazed me was that the teacher was always correct, as it truly did benefit me immensely. Perhaps his experience in instructing Yogavacharas over the years, plus his great wisdom, might have given him this amazing intuitive awareness of a pupil's mind. With great reverence and humility, I can certainly say that he was the sincerest person one could have ever known. His sincerity of word, thought, and deed could never ever be doubted. The most wonderful thing was the implicit trust and faith we had in our teacher, who had mastered all the intricacies of meditation, both samatha and vipassana. I consider my tutelage under this skilled meditation master, our revered teacher, the greatest blessing in my life. Even the Prince Rahula found the shadow of his saintly father, the Lord Buddha, so comforting. So did I find it pleasing and comforting to sit at my teacher's feet, listening to him exhorting constantly to make good use of this life, to practice bhavana determinedly and make every effort to cross this fearful samsara and attain nibbana, freedom from all suffering. To be in his presence was like being in a cool, tranquil oasis, away from the dust and dirt of the desert-like world. Several of his pupils, including foreign bhikkhus, have commented on this. In his presence, one's mind became calm and free of kilesas, and on leaving his presence, one's mind continued to be so for many days. It had a great uplifting and purifying effect on those who follow the Dhamma path. The profundity of the effect cannot ever be guessed without experiencing it. The teacher is no more, but the strangest thing is that we keep on hearing his gentle words of advice ever so often. We still feel his presence. When suddenly a question comes to my mind, or it may be something I wish to know, the first thought that comes to my mind is, must ask Loku Hamuduru. And then I realized, with an utter sense of loss, that our great fount of knowledge and wisdom is no more. A skilled meditation master who had attained to great heights, but yet he led a life of such simplicity and humility, never standing on ceremony, as egotism never ever had a place in his heart. This reminds me of the words of several bhikkhus and laymen who spoke at the funeral of Maha Thera. We may not see the like of this Maha Thera, our most revered teacher, even for other 1,000 years. He was truly a saint. Chittam tesam anavilam.